A young man wakes up inside a fast-moving lift. It suddenly stops. A group of boys opens the door. Gally pushes him out. The crowd surrounds him. Scared, he runs but falls. He sees they're inside huge walls. He's locked up, but Albie lets him out. Albie asks his name, but the boy doesn't remember. Albie says none of them remember anything when they arrive. Albie shows him around the glade. The boys, called gladers, grow food and build shelters. The lift, called the box, comes once a month with supplies and a new boy. No one knows who sent them. Albie introduces him to Newt, his second-in-command. The new guy sees an opening in the wall. Albie says going outside is forbidden. That night, Chuck helps him make a bed. The boy checks the door, but Chuck warns only runners can go inside. Miho and Ben return through the door. Chuck says only runners go into the maze. This sparks his interest. Gally shoves him aside again. Suddenly, a loud noise comes from inside the maze before the walls close. Newt later explains the maze changes every day. Runners map it, looking for a way out. Only the fastest and strongest become runners. No one has ever survived a night in the maze. Newt mentions creatures called grievers that kill anyone stuck inside. The boy says he wants to be a runner. Gally challenges him to a fight. Gally wins at first, but the boy fights back and uses Gally's strength against him. Gally knocks him out. When he wakes, he remembers his name, Thomas. The others celebrate. Even Gally joins. Their celebration ends when they hear a griever scream. Gally says they're safe, the walls protect them. Thomas dreams about scientists and a girl. The next day, Albie walks with him. He explains things weren't always peaceful. Some died from fear, so they created rules. Albie says Thomas is different, more curious, but rules still matter. He shows a wall with names of those who died. Thomas adds his own name to the list. He helps with farming but keeps thinking of ways to ESC. All his ideas have already been tried. Later, Thomas goes to the woods. Ben jumps him, accusing him of causing everything. Thomas hits Ben with a bone and escapes. He runs back. Newt hits Ben with a shovel. They pin Ben down and lift his shirt. He's been stung by a griever. Albie says he's going through the changing. Thomas tells them what Ben said, he blamed Thomas for everything. At night, the boys force Ben into the maze. Ben tries to flee, but the door's shut behind him. Thomas dreams again, this time of a lab and a woman saying wicked is good. He sees the girl again. In the morning, Albie and Miho go into the maze. Newt says Albie wants to see where Ben was stung. Newt trusts him, he was the first glader and helped everyone. At sundown, the boys gather. The doors begin to close, but Miho is still inside, dragging a hurt Albie. The others shout for him to leave Albie, but Thomas runs in just as the walls close. Inside the maze, Albie is stung. Grievers roar. The walls shift. Miho wants to run, but Thomas refuses to leave Albie. They carry him but can't outrun the grievers. Thomas spots vines and hides Albie. Miho runs. Thomas hides too. A griever walks past. Thomas secures Albie in the vines, but the griever returns. Thomas steps in slime. The griever drops near him. Thomas runs and reaches a dead end. He climbs vines to the wall's top. The griever follows. Thomas jumps to another wall. The griever gets stuck in the vines. Miho finds him. They run to a closing wall and slip through just in time. The next day, the maze opens. Everyone is shocked to see Miho and Thomas return with Albie. Miho says Thomas killed a griever. In the meeting, Gally says Thomas broke the rules. Though he saved lives, killing a griever could bring trouble. Gally wants to punish him, but Miho suggests making him a runner. Suddenly, the box rises again, off schedule. Inside is a girl with a note saying she's the last. She wakes, sees Thomas, says his name, and faints. Newt asks if he knows her. Thomas denies it. The gladers worry that supplies won't come anymore. Thomas wants to go back into the maze. Miho stops him. Thomas says they've never killed a griever before and should learn more. Miho agrees. They go back to the griever's body. Inside, they find a device with WCKD and the number 7. They bring it back. Thomas wants to investigate more. Gally disagrees. Newt decides Thomas will spend one night in the pit but promotes him to runner. Miho shows Thomas the runner's map. He says they've mapped the whole maze but found no exit. They didn't tell the others to avoid panic. But now, Miho sees hope. The maze has 8 sections. It changes each day, opening one section. Section 7 was open when they killed the Griever. The girl finally wakes up and climbs the tower. She throws rocks at the boys. Thomas climbs up. She pulls a knife. He calms her. She says her name is Teresa. She doesn't remember him. Later, they talk. Thomas says she came with the note, and the box hasn't come since. Teresa remembers being watched in a lab. A woman says Wicket is good. Thomas had similar dreams and saw Teresa's face. They wonder why they remember more than others. Teresa shows 2 syringes marked WCKD. They guess Wicket means WCKD. They decide to use one on Albie. He panics. Teresa injects him. He passes out. Gally locks Thomas in the pit. Thomas asks why. Gally says everything went wrong when he arrived. Chuck visits Thomas with food. He shows him a toy he thinks is from his parents. Thomas promises to help them escape so Chuck can return it himself. The next day, Miho and Thomas find Section 7 open again. It's not supposed to be. Inside are spinning blades and Ben's old clothes. The device beeps faster. They follow it to a dead end. The number turns green. The walls shift and open a path. They walk into a tunnel. A red light scans them. Something moves. They run. Outside, walls rise. They escape in time and return. Thomas says they found a possible way out. Gally says the tunnel might be full of Grievers. Thomas and Gally argue. Teresa says Albie is awake. They go to him. Albie says they won't let them leave. He remembers everything. He says Thomas was their favorite. Suddenly, the maze doors stay open. More doors appear. Grievers enter. Everyone runs. Thomas hides with others in a field. One boy is taken. Thomas leads them to safety. Gally hides in the box. Grievers destroy the camp. Teresa burns one with a lantern. It still attacks. Albie collapses. Thomas defends him. Newt and others kill the Griever and lead them to the council hall. A Griever breaks in and takes a glider. Chuck is grabbed. Thomas and Miho pull him back. Albie attacks the Griever, saving Chuck. But another Griever grabs Albie. He tells Thomas to save the others and gets taken. The Grievers vanish. Gally returns and punches Thomas. He says Thomas caused everything. Albie said Thomas helped the people who sent them there. Thomas takes the stinger and stabs himself. He passes out. He dreams of the lab again. He sees kids in tanks and scientists watching. When he wakes, he and Teresa are locked up. Newt says Gally took over. He plans to throw anyone who opposes him into the maze. Thomas says he remembers now, the Glade was a test. They were raised for it. He and Teresa worked for WCKD but don't know why they were sent in. Newt tells him to finish what Albie started. Thomas and Teresa are taken outside. Gally says he won't banish them. He'll sacrifice them to the Grievers. Teresa is tied up. Thomas attacks. Miho, Newt, and Chuck help. Thomas tells the others they can leave if they're brave. Some join him. Thomas offers Gally one last chance, but Gally stays behind. Thomas leads the group to Section 7. They fight off Grievers. One blader falls. Teresa helps but Chuck drops the device. He grabs it. Grievers appear. They fight and open the tunnel. At the end, Teresa needs a code. Thomas asks Miho for the maze pattern. A Griever attacks Miho. Another Glader stabs it but gets dragged away. Miho shouts the sequence. Teresa enters the code. The walls crush the Grievers. A door opens. The survivors enter. They find dead scientists and reach the control room. Screens show the Glade. A video plays. Dr. Ava Page introduces herself. She says the sun scorched Earth. Billions died. A virus called the flare made survivors go mad. Some kids were immune. WCKD studied them in the maze to find a cure. Ava says many didn't agree with the experiment. As soldiers break in, she insists it was for the greater good. The video ends. Thomas finds her body. A door opens. Gally appears, he was stung. He says they belong to the maze. He shoots. Chuck pushes Thomas out of the way. Miho throws a spear at Gally, killing him. But Chuck is shot. He gives Thomas the toy and thanks him. Chuck dies. Thomas breaks down. Armed men arrive and take them outside. A helicopter picks them up. They fly over the maze to safety. Meanwhile, Ava Page wipes fake blood off her head. She's alive. She says the maze trial was a success. It's time to start phase 2. If you like this retelling, hit that like button. If you didn't, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. Thanks for watching, and seriously, go watch The Maze Runner. It's worth it.